you a broke school or academy owner? You gotta do this. If you've been struggling with building your own school or academy, filling it with new students, actually living the life of your dreams, there's a few things I can guarantee you are holding you back right now. And I would love for you to have the opportunity to change your life, to change your circumstances just like I have, and have a thriving school, to be able to be passionate, have time for your family, live where you want to live, have the life that you just get tickled pink with waking up to every single morning. But it's got to be something that you're willing to go all in on. You know, when I was 18 years old, I remember having this moment where I'm looking at possibly going to college, and not even college, going to a technical school, trying to figure out one thing: how am I going to make money? It wasn't even a question about what did I want to become when I grew up. I had this thought that I wanted to make money, and I wanted to do something that would make money relatively fast and also would allow me and my family to have a better life, a better circumstance. And as I thought about it, every which way I was going to turn was going to cost exponential amounts of money to achieve it. You see, I had built websites when I was a teenager. I had done odd jobs here and there, but the main thing that had been consistent since I was a child was the martial arts school that my family had run. We had ran this martial arts school, and my dad actually started the school in 1982, and he started it with a dream of it being a full-time school eventually, but his passion for martial arts and just teaching it to people was always the priority. But then it got to the point where there was more a month than there was money, and we were just pouring more of our own personal money into this business that never was succeeding. And it came to the point where we were sitting down and having a real honest conversation about whether or not we should just close our commercial facility and teach out of our own backyard and just have a few students come over and learn what we had to teach. I didn't want to see that dream die. And so I remember thinking to myself, I have two paths to go. If I go down this path of going to college and trying to learn this new skill and taking these college courses, I'm going to be in debt. And then I'm also going to be in a situation where my family's martial arts dream is going to have to die for my new life and dream to live. And I wasn't willing to let that go. I wasn't willing to say, I'm going to close these doors forever on this. And I came to the point where I had to turn down a free ride to college, because once I made this dream known to the rest of my family, besides my parents, I was met with a great deal of concern. Because, I mean, from a grandparent's perspective, you've watched, your daughter and your son-in-law and your granddaughter doing this thing, and it hasn't been successful pretty much the whole entire granddaughter's life. It's been open, the doors have been open, but not really been making a lot of money, and now your granddaughter wants to go all in on this. That doesn't seem like a very smart decision. And that's where my grandparents came from. They told me, I'm gonna pay your way to college, but we want you to go to college. We want you to do this thing because we want a better opportunity for you. Back then, looking back at it, I couldn't see the perspective that they were seeing. I could only see mine. And I knew that I didn't want to do it. I didn't want to go to college. I wanted to go all in. I wanted to learn how to run a business. And I knew I didn't need an undergrad degree to do that. I needed real world experience. I needed to actually be able to figure it out myself. And I knew that inside the walls of a university, I wasn't going to find it there. That wasn't what I wanted to do. And it came down to this moment where my grandfather was actually sick with pneumonia. He was in ICU, and it was the summertime in between when I had graduated and when I should start school. And my grandmother, I was having to take her back. She lived on a farm, 700 acre farm. And so I was having to drive her back home to collect some of the things that she needed to go back to the hospital to be with my grandfather. And when I did this and we were going down, I was trying to keep the topics not centered around my future, but somehow we got there. And my grandmother was very determined. Obviously, there was a lot going on in that moment to have me go to college. And I had to do something that I know some of you might be struggling with, and my hope and goal is that this encourages you. I had to firmly say that I was willing to turn down a possibility of success for the possibility of what I knew my success was going to be. I had to tell her no. I had to firmly say, I'm not going to college. There's nothing you can do to make me want to change my mind. This is the path I'm going to take. And had I not gotten really firm with her, then I would have never been able to run $1 million business. The business has been operating at $1 million plus since 2010. I finally have my dream home and farm. I finally am able to live the life that I love. And I would have never been able to do that or have the family that I have. I would have never met my husband. I would have never traveled to China to adopt my son. None of those things would have happened without making that really hard decision. So if you're facing a hard decision right now, if you're facing something that seems insurmountable, but you know beyond a shadow of a doubt that the grass is not greener on the other side, then you've got to stand your ground. And what I learned is that once I did that, the next steps were exponentially easier. You see, to go from broke school owner to thriving, profitable school owner, you've got to master two things and maybe a third. You've got to get really good at marketing and you've got to get really good at selling. You're probably already good at doing the thing that you're doing. You're probably good at teaching martial arts, or you're probably good at being a musician. You're probably good at any other skill-based activity, basketball, soccer, teaching football, being involved in fitness. You're probably already good at doing those things. So it's not like you need to spend more time perfecting that craft. What you need to do is actually get serious about marketing. What you've got to do is actually get serious about studying how to sell. When somebody's sitting across from you, that stranger, and you're trying to go, man, I need them to enroll. I need them to start. I'm just not sure what I should say. Well, why aren't you? Get solid on your marketing. Get solid on your sales. Master those two things. Those are the things in front of you that are going to require the most out of you. Those are the things that are going to be scary. Those are the things that are going to take all of you to learn and to master. But once you do learn how to market, and once you do learn how to sell, it's going to be very hard to hold you back. You're going to break through that glass ceiling. But until you get those two things down, it will be very hard for you to succeed. Now listen, at this point, you've got a couple of choices in front of you. You can keep doing what you've been doing. And honestly, doing the same thing, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. Or you could decide. And to decide means simply to cut off. You can cut off any other path that is going to detour you or derail you from achieving your goals and your dreams. Stop getting distracted by all the other shiny things that are out there. Stop getting distracted by the people that are in your family unit or the people that are in your immediate friend group that are holding you back from doing the thing that you know that God has put a desire in your heart to actually do. It's time for you to dig down deep. It's time for you to decide, just like I did, that it's worth it. It's worth going after this goal. It's worth going after this dream, because you know on the other side of it that the life that you want to have is there, that the life that you want to live is available to you. But you won't get there without going all in.